but this one actually may get us in a little bit of trouble. We ran it past the ladies in on our team,
okay,
and they said they were cool with it. They said they were cool with it. So I just want to let everybody know that. But let's check this out real quick.
To cultivate means to bring the best out of something, to make it fruitful. Therefore, God will never give a male a finished product. Oh, it's going to get heavy now. You were designed to be a cultivator. So God will not give you anything you don't have to cultivate. So God never gave Adam a chair or a table. He hid them in the trees. God never gave Adam a pair of shoes. He hid it in the cow. Okay, here's the good part. God will never give a male a finished woman. This is very important now. The woman that you are looking for, the one in your head, does not exist. That's why you can't find the perfect woman. She only exists in your mind. God will only give you the raw material. He said, I want you to cultivate her and make her into the woman in your mind. So your job is to develop and to refine and to train and to educate and to improve the woman in your life. That means the longer a woman stays with you, the better she should become. If you are ashamed of your wife, you should be ashamed of yours. Oh, come on, man, go with me now. Getting ready to go home now.
Bars.
Therefore, you must be just like your hero, Jesus. The Bible says he has a woman. Her name is Ecclesia. He says, you love your wife like I love my wife. How? I wash her. I cleanse her. I remove every spot, every wrinkle, every blemish, every stain. And then I present her to myself. And I say, look what I did. That's mine. That's my thing. He says, you're supposed to feel proud of your wife. You're supposed to make her what you wanted to become the woman she was born to be.
All right, so should we be cultivating your wives? And what he said was the woman of your dreams, the woman you're looking for does not exist. What do y'all think?
We got a guest in the building.
No,
you know
you were Ryan.
there's this clip on IG or TikTok or one of them joints where the voiceover is like, find you a woman that can cook, and find you a woman that can clean, and find you a woman that's, can take care of the home, and find you a woman that can take care of the kids, and find you a woman that can go out and earn a living.
Yeah.
But make sure those women never meet. Now the thing is, I agree with that's Dr. Miles Monroe, right?
Yeah,
I agree with the RIP. I agree with what he's saying to a degree. To a degree, because I think there's a not double standard, but there's a double approach to it.
Yeah.
On one hand, we say, come whole. Everybody should come to this thing whole, not, we still working on you. Yeah, I'm sorry, there you go. Come to the relationship whole.
Yeah.
That way I ain't working on you and you ain't trying to fix me and yada, yada, yada. Whilst at the same time, what he's saying there, Dr. Miles Monroe, makes a whole lot of sense. It makes sense. But I don't know how applicable
it didn't make sense to me until he got to the Jesus part. When he was talking about the Jesus part was like, I'm the bride of the church, right? Like, so he was basically saying like, I'm cleansing every stain of my people. I'm cleaning them up. I'm cleaning up my children. So that's what I'm cleaning up my church. That's what I pretty much took from that.
We're his bride.
We're the bride.
Right, but I'm saying, so that's why I'm saying I agree when he got to the part about Jesus.
Oh, I thought you said accept that part.
Yeah, that's what it's
No, I said I agreed. I said I said I disagreed until he got to that part.
You disagreed until
you disagreed. So what did you disagree with?
So I told y'all on the call, like, I feel like, I know Sean asked, like, are the ladies offended? And we have quite a few ladies on our call on Thursdays, and they were like, nah, I get it. And I was shocked. So I chimed in. I was doing something, cleaning up, doing that. And I was like, I feel like that would be offensive to my wife, right? Just because it talked about, you have to make sure she's this and you have to make sure she's that, right? But what about the man, right? The man needs to be that same thing for the wife. So a wife needs to make sure that her husband is getting better the more years he's been with her. So that's how I felt like it was very one-sided. But then we're probably looking at him talking to a group of men, you know. But you know, nowadays you have to be, you got to be cautious when you use that, you know, one-sided conversation when you're talking about the church.
Okay, yeah. Now, Miles Monroe died a while ago, so he wasn't living in the time when you had to be careful about what you said. So, are we?
Yes, he was.
Well, it was just recent.
Yeah,
probably
he
the last
died.
couple of years.
Yeah,
He died a couple years ago.
He didn't. He did die
It was like a couple years ago.
Dr. Miles Monroe died a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, it was-
Somebody-
it was-
I've
somebody
seen
fact
Miles
check.
Monroe preach before.
Yeah, I'm sure you have, but
No,
All we
no,
gotta
like
do is
live,
Google
like
in
in
ladies and
person.
gentlemen.
yeah, but you're not 2
No,
years
I was
old.
an adult though.
But you've
when
been
he
an adult
died.
for quite a while, right?
I'm saying I was in my 20s, I think, when he passed away.
It wasn't long ago. Wasn't long
somebody-
ago.
somebody-
2014. He died in 2014.
Okay, that's a long time ago.
11 years ago.
It's not 2? It ain't 2?
When you said you made it seem like he died in like 1984 or some
Oh,
junk.
no. But 14 years, that's a long time ago, no?
11 years ago.
11.
That's not that long ago.
11 is a long time ago.
No, it's not.
We'd only been doing this show, what, 5 years?
2014 was the first year we went to Flavor Fest.
That's a long time ago. You're not helping yourself.
I'm telling you, that's not that long ago.
Anyway, back then it wasn't as serious as it is now. I'll say that. So you could get away with speaking your heart a little bit more. So the reason I'm bringing that up is that a problem that we feel like we can't say just straight up truth without worrying about how are people going to take it? How are people going to take it? What do you think about this? I need to know
that
what you
point.
I think as I think about it, I think about the whole piece of like a man being the headship of his household, being the head of his house, which is kind of like what people don't want to talk about. They call it creation roles, whereas like you were created for this, men were created for that, women were created for this.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people don't like that, but I think at the same time, if he's coming from that perspective, because he's saying like, as a man, your wife should be better in your care than she was by herself.
Yeah.
In essence, it should be that way because any relationship that you're involved with, you should become better over
better.
time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not even just a marriage relationship. That's a friendship. That's whatever. You know what I mean? But if I think I do agree with him on saying that like as you watch your wife become better and better, yeah, I believe that. I agree with that. Even and then vice versa. It's like I know I became a better man because of my wife. You know what I mean?
But that's not his point.
Yeah.
His point
his point is
the man does it.
Yeah.
You're the cultivator. He gave you
Well, I think if you're the head of the household, you should cultivate what's happening in your household, right?
Yeah. I'm just saying. It was everybody I see react to this is, and it should happen the other way. He's like, no, it should
It
not.
should happen.
Yeah.
It's this
No,
one.
I think it
But
should.
then I guess he's saying with his point of view, and like you said, we can't really speak from because he's passed away. But his perspective probably is God is cultivating the man, while the man should be cultivating
The wife.
The wife. So if your wife trusts
You're
God,
supposed to be being cultivated
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
So if God is like developing you and making sure you hold down your responsibilities of your house and making sure everything is on an up and up, then I think your wife could be like, okay, I trust you. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe that in what he's trying to say.
That's how it should be. You're right.
But-
That's how it should be.
We talked about this not too long ago either. Women that are making more than men. Women that are
What
taking
does that
care
have
of the
to do
house.
with-
Women that are taking care of the household.
You mean financially?
Financially,
But that's-
cooking, cleaning, whatever. Like there's other ways that a house can be cultivated.
But I don't
Like-
think that's what the Bible's talking about when it says you're the.
I'm not
priest
talking
of
about
your
that.
home.
No, I'm talking about what Jeremiah was just saying.
What about it?
When he's talking about a man, God cultivates the man and the man cultivates the house. But what happens when there's things happening that a man is not present for?
That's what I'm saying. The cultivating, I don't think has nothing to do with finances. Like even the Proverbs
I don't think
30,
it has. I'm not saying it has to do with finances. There's other things like that a woman can do to run a house.
Right, but you brought up finance. You said, what if they make
Financially.
more?
I
Yeah.
said if they're making more, like I feel like if you're talking about cultivating the house and you're talking, and Jeremiah said run the house. What did you mean when you said run the house?
I'm saying like if you're the head of your household,
The head of the house, right?
Like you're the head of there, and your wife is depending on you because you're based off biblical principles. Your wife is waiting on you to hear from the Lord for y'all next step in your house.
So you're talking about prayer wise.
prayer. Your devotion time with God.
Prayer,
with God,
leadership.
you know,
Okay.
Yeah, leadership.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't know. So to me, finances doesn't have much to do with it. I love Dr. Miles Monroe. I think if you want to be a writer, he has such an amazing sermon on how to write a book. Like it's a sermon.
A sermon on how to write a book.
Not just like a self-help, like a sermon. Like he preaches how to write a book. It's amazing.
I need to check him out.
So I'm a fan of his. But this one, the parts that were sticky for me that I think our Beyonce audience might have a problem with is that when he says, the woman of your dreams doesn't exist, it's your job to make her into it. I just wonder how, of course, not the people on our team, they loved it. But I just wonder how a general audience of women would say, so you just see me as like a project to be worked on?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, this goes back to the Tiffany point. Tiffany, remember when Tiffany was talking and she was talking to Christian people at her place and it happened to go viral. I think for this situation, if we're going back to people who may be watching our newer content, like if they're non-Christians, of course they're going to have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? Because it goes against what...
I'm talking about Christians.
Well, even Christians. What I'm saying, if a Christian, if the women that are Christians who like, I want a man to lead me, like I want a man to lead me and blah, 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 then they won't have a problem with it. But if a woman is like, I don't want no man to lead me, we equals, we're this, we're blah, 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 and I don't believe in what the Bible said about gender roles, then you're going to have a problem.
I'm saying it that I think even some of the women who say, I want a man to lead me may have a little bit of a friction against it.
Well, I think if, going back to what I said earlier, I don't think a woman will have a problem if she sees you going after God, sees you becoming what God is. Like, if by the time you got married to now, if you're the same person that you were when you got married, then I understand why she would feel that type of way. Because she's looking at you like, there's no progression, there's nothing, it's blah, blah, blah. It's just the same old. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but if you've grown and your track record with God has gotten better and your track record with God has gotten like even more fruitful out of your life, then...
Yeah, that's exactly right. The reason why this made me go, ugh, is because I'm hoping that every man in that audience is thinking about this the right way when you say woman of your dreams.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because some of those men woman of their dreams is somebody that's, has an hourglass body.
Yeah.
Somebody has hair down to their ankles. Somebody who does whatever they say without saying anything back. So I'm afraid that
submissive city girl.
Yeah. So I'm afraid that some of the guys in the audience may be like, oh yeah, I could turn her into whatever I want. It's like, no. It's not about turning her into what you want.
Right.
It's about turning her into what God wants. And it's not necessarily turning into, it's guiding and holding her hand while God does it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just the language just made me a little nervous that some guys may take it, and the guys may take it the wrong way.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Guys and girls,
so you think Miles Monroe was on here, Kevin Samuel? That's what y'all scared of?
No.
I think Miles Monroe has always been a different figure. You know what I mean? More traditional with the Bible. He's Bohemian, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So more traditional in a lot of ways, right? Yeah. Culture's different. So I think I've always listened to him, read his books, and thought, okay, this is different. This is a different line of preaching that I'm used to.
Yeah. He's very very convincing personality. Like very, speaks with conviction. Very strong. Very clear illustrations of what he's talking about. So I love how he preaches. I was just, when I heard this is a very old clip. When I heard this, I'm like, again, somebody said it was going around right now, viral right now. So I just wonder why. Yeah. There's something about it that either women are saying, look at what he's saying, or guys are like, y'all better see this. That kind of thing. And I'm worried about both. I'm worried about both sides. I'm worried about both a little bit.
Yeah. And it's not a one size fits all type of thing.
Right. Yeah.
It's 4 men in here in 4 different relationships.
Yeah.
They will never be the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can have the same squeak sound in your car that I have in mine, but we don't have the same problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
And that's what people can think. Like you said, the guys be like, you know what I'm saying? Well, you heard what he said.
Yeah.
Like they like, well, since he said that, it's got to be that.
Yeah.
That's not for everybody. First of all, she got a different background, a different walk, a different family, a different upbringing. Everything is determined by that.
Yeah, I think Jeremiah said it best. The reason this works the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
And young ladies, if you're not married, this is what it really means, right? is God is supposed to be leading the man of the household in a way that's cultivating, growing, constantly improving so that he can do that for your family. If he's not doing that, then this doesn't work. Because then he's going to lead you into things like sin and greed and lust. He's going to lead you some kind of way, and it's not going to be the right way. So that's why before we even talk about what you're going to do for her, it really matters what the guy's motivations are in the first place. Are you really? You can't expect submission from a woman and everything he talked about here if you're not submitted the same way to God.
To God,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you break that part of it, then this is just misogyny.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Do you think he was talking to marrieds or singles, or does it not make a difference?
Look like I don't know.
Seemed
like a
like
men's
it
conference?
Seemed like it might have been singles he was talking to.
It could be a mix. Because I would assume that because he's saying the woman of your dreams, so I'm assuming there's a lot of single people there. But I don't know if it was strictly or not because he kind of spoke to both situations. You know what I mean? So I think it's important. I think it's important to hear what he's saying from an unfiltered perspective. I know 2014 feels like yesterday to you, but it was a long time ago. As far as culture has shifted a lot since 2014. And I think it's important to hear somebody who didn't have those like worries in their mind just say what it is.
Do you feel like I feel like he's a biblical based teacher.
Of course, I'm sure, and I'm saying all this with that voice in the back of my head saying, yeah, but you didn't see when he said such and such. Do you know he really believes this? And people will dig up stuff on a person and say, "Oh, they not really a Christian type stuff." So I don't know. I don't know every little detail about his life, but I'm just saying from what I've seen, he was a very effective preacher. I think.
I don't think people are going to question his Christianity. I think they're going to question his stance on male figures in the Bible and dominance and things of that nature. That's what I think people are going to question the most.
But
is it aligned with today's culture versus
But that's the question we have to ask ourselves, even as men of God. Like, do we care about today's culture to the point where we run away from biblical principle?
I don't. I mean, so for me, I don't believe what you mentioned about creation roles or something like that. To me, in my household, the way I like to see it run is if something needs to get done, I'm going to do it. I'm not waiting on my wife to do it. If people think like she should be the one cooking, cleaning, washing dishes, folding laundry, I'm going to do it because I know at the end of the day, we got 4 kids, and the sooner they get down and we get done with chores, the easier it is for us to transition to the next day or to get our lives back, right? I'm saying like getting time back. So for me, I just want to see it done. I don't care who does it.
Yeah, but I think when people talk about, I've heard pastors talk about creation roles, I don't think they talking about like tasks like that. I'm talking about like, I think for some it's like a woman taking care of your kids or a woman taking care of, not like if she...
You can have my kids. Can't do that.
That's worse, right?
That's a creation role.
That's all,
but that's a little misogynistic.
No, but I'm saying that's the only thing I can think of. I can't think of anything else. Like when you say creation, like...
Meaning like if a God created a woman to be a nurturer, right? When you think that he wants her to be the nurturer of the family and nurturer of your kids and stuff of that nature...
I don't know if that still goes, Jeremiah. Like, I mean,
but that's what I'm saying. But I go back to, are we going to be
the traditional expectation is woman takes care of the house, you go get the money outside, you fix the things that are broken. She, does
to a certain point. Like my household is kind of that glimpse. It's sometimes I'm like on like certain days is my days to, well, not certain days, but my days to clean our clothes. I wash our clothes, I fold them, I do all that. I have no problem doing that. And then also my wife makes more money than me. I don't mind to say that, but I think at the same time she trusts me enough to say, you're going to lead me.
You're still the head of my household.
You're still the head of this household.
Yeah, that's good there because that sometimes can create issues in the home when the woman makes more than the man. You know what I'm saying?
And I didn't want to put our business down front.
No, I got you.
But I'm just saying. I'm just saying but I think it takes God to get to that place for some people, for men and women.
It takes God to humble a man for sure.
It took me years ago. I remember prior to my wife, I was talking to somebody, and that was a problem for me at that time. And God had to like really show me immediately, like, it shouldn't matter about who makes more
Because it
money.
should be
because
your money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
a whole lot better. When
The
the bills are
Proverbs.
paid.
What's interesting about the Proverbs example that everybody points to is that the woman was, buying fields. She was making clothes. She was doing a lot of things you would consider business. You know? So it's not limited. I don't see in the Bible where it's limited the misogynistic way, where it's like you cook, you clean, you do that. That's not even what the Bible says. It's more so a sense of your role is to protect your family. Not just financially, but protect spiritually, to pray for them, to be like the pastor of your house. To make sure if you notice any slippage in spiritual connection with God, to say, okay, let's get everybody together. Let's go. I see something going on here. That's your job, right? So that's more so what it means than any kind of like your job is this, my job is that kind of thing. So I think what I'm worried about in my mind is those guys that misinterpret the truth about that. I think that's.
But I do think sometimes. And I remember seeing a clip going viral recently with TD Jakes talking about this, how the role reversed so quick with men and women that now women are getting more stress levels, more depression, more all that, because they're doing like trying to get more not business, but moving up the corporate ladder, more corporate stuff, more and more and more. And it's like you've seen that happen with men, because of course the switch happened like, and maybe in the 2010s of more women making more money than men dealing with our community, more black women making more money than black men. And you seeing now he was saying from his perspective, he's seeing this shift happen, and how black women are getting not getting married, they're getting success in the corporate America, but spiritually they're not getting that success that they really desire.
But then again, that's still our failure.
Yeah.
That's still our failure. That's a guy's failure, because if they don't feel secure in the options that they have, they're going to want to just do it themselves. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's a lack of people stepping up, being available, staying out of jail, staying out of people's pants. You know what I mean? Like you have to be worthy of their putting trust in the first place. And if they don't trust you, they're just going to do it themselves.
But I would say I agree with you as the man taking that responsibility. But also you have to ask that question of if they're saying, where is these good guys at? And we can't find them. That's kind of harsh. But then at the same time, if there are good guys out there and they just be like, I don't want that person, because we go back to that talk about where it's like, just turn around and talk to each other, because y'all right there, you need that person, but y'all just don't want to talk to each other because maybe you're not attracted to that person, and we're not forcing you to. But at the same time, when you see somebody that has the good. You know what I'm saying? Good theology. They on the same page and they just don't like each other. It's like that's the frustrating thing, is because you hearing them talking and they want that, like we said earlier, the guy want the submissive city girl, and the women want the submissive Michael B. Jordan. You know what I'm saying?
So I see a couple guys jump off in the chat saying, "Don't blame us for that. Don't blame us for that." I mean, okay, but. I know too many young ladies who are faithful, love Jesus, waiting on a man, and none of y'all are out there. And if you are, and you're like, they ain't looking at me, okay, but it's a fact. I know way more women waiting on young men of God than men who are waiting on young women of God.
Yeah, men just not pulling that trigger, man. I think, I didn't want to offend anybody by saying this, but I think that the era that we got married, it was like, you remember seeing everybody around you getting married. Everybody around you getting married. We all got married around the same time. You know, all of us were within 3 years of each other. And that goes for all the original members of our team that were in Atlanta, that were at Destinations, that were at Word of Faith. Like, we all got married around the same time. And I think that we're in a different space now where the Christian dating game has just changed so much.
You're in Atlanta.
Yeah. The Christian day.
That could be anywhere, ain't necessarily Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
Atlanta's a problem.
But Atlanta is a problem.
But the landscape of Christian dating has changed so much, and I just think that that's the main problem. Like, Got to fix that.
Well, we'll just say this. We're committed to helping you guys figure this out. Since we stopped being single years ago, we stopped talking about this and we were like, screw y'all, we're good. So we're gonna get back for our single young men and ladies out there that are like, this is frustrating, this is stressful, I can't find anybody. We're gonna figure it out, even though y'all may be like, y'all missed it, y'all don't know what it's like out here now.
Yeah, we definitely missed it.
We missed it, but we're gonna try our best to figure out how to help as much as we can. So,
but wait, real quick, y'all acting like we're in Atlanta streets. Like we're not in those Atlanta streets, and at sometimes
in Atlanta streets,
meaning like they was like, well, y'all from Atlanta, so that
like out there like that.
Yeah, like but then we know it's been times when we've gone to churches and we've seen different people there and. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. I kind of hate that sometimes when they be like, well, y'all in Atlanta. It's like.
Well, I mean, I think when people say you're in Atlanta, I think they think, well, you're in the Bible Belt, you're in the South, you're in the melting pot of Black America right now. Like, Atlanta's just booming for that. So I feel like they're saying, oh, yeah, you guys would say that because Atlanta had more options than maybe where I'm at.
I'm thinking they're saying that because I think they're saying because they think in Atlanta it's same-sex situations. That's what they're saying.
Nah, when I went to Seattle, when I went up west, oh my God, I saw some stuff. I was like, whoa, okay. But no, I think when they're talking about Atlanta, they're saying that we have, like, the ratio, like, the HBCUs in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Spelman, Clark, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have... I think that's an advantage of like most people think we have.
I think we need to have a conversation. I think the real conversation also should be: is it wrong for women to lower their standards to date somebody that, quote unquote, by society standards, doesn't look worthy for them to date?
And that's what I was going to say. It's I've been saying this for a minute. There's a narrative, and it's like, for example, if I start looking up at that sign up there, the T, the Trackstarz, and then you look up there, and then you're going to look, and then what you going to do? Start looking at. Everybody's going to start looking that way. So I think everybody starts to run with the narrative, and once that narrative, it's like what the media does. When you start hearing it everywhere, that's the truth. Mm-hmm. So if everybody starts saying the same thing, it becomes the truth. It's like I'm from DC, and somebody I'll be like, yeah, I'm from DC. Like, yo, I heard about DC. I'm like, I'm from DC. I know that's not happening right there. You know what I'm saying? But because you heard that, and other people have said it, it becomes the truth. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's one of the things we have to get people to kind of break away from, is believing the narrative. The narrative is not the truth. It's just the crowd has decided. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That don't make it true.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to even going back to group thinking when you're talking about. It's like so many people are justifying their friends' failures to their failures.
There you
and
have
it's
it.
like God would bring somebody in your life if you stop saying like all men are this.
All men are dogs. Yeah.
And you like you made
the 4 men you dated. You know what I'm saying? Those were the dogs. Yeah.
Or even like your friend dated dogs and you just supporting that person.
They're going with the
and
flow,
you probably haven't dated much people. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm with you. Yeah.
Changing mind states would be great for a lot of people, men and women. So.
All right, man, let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Wright to Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.